Hello, dear students. I wanted to talk to you about an important technique in acoustic guitar. I'm gonna do it today with this beautiful Taylor guitar that I'm really enjoying. Anyway, the technique I wanted to talk to you about, as you might have gathered from my intro, it's finger picking. All right, it's a very important technique for every guitar players, although it's mostly associated with acoustic guitar. There's no reason why uh, an electric guitar player shouldn't be at least familiar with this technique. All right, and we can apply this technique with any chords that you know until now, or if this is your first time grabbing the guitar and you still don't know any chords, then you can still follow because we're gonna start with right hand only. All right, so I'm gonna zoom in, break down the way I do it, and this is the only way I can explain it. The only way I can explain anything is by explaining the way it works for me and how I'm able to do it. It doesn't mean that it's I have the ultimate truth. You know, many people explain things in different ways, so keep that in mind. Sometimes things might work a little different for you. All right, I'm gonna break it down now. So the way I do finger picking and the way it works for me is by curving the fingers a lot, like you were trying to make a circle with them. Except for the thumb. The thumb needs to remain straight, and the pinky you're not really gonna use. So once you have these three fingers like that, you look for a place in the guitar where your ring finger lands perfectly on the first string, middle finger on the second string, and index on the third string. And you want to get a little behind the string, not below, but a little behind the string, so you can pluck it outwards in that direction, not upwards. Okay, not in this case, not so much as this, but I'm plucking. Maybe you can tell good in this angle, but I'm plucking like outwards. Anyway, and the thumb, we're gonna use it. We can use it either on 4th, 5th, or 6th string. Let's start by 6, and here we go. And we can call it a ballad pattern or ballad finger picking. And it's gonna be thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Similar to the first note of Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. Now, keep in mind that you might need to do this extremely slow at first, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's not a rule that says that you need to practice at a certain speed, or quite the contrary. Most progress is done when you slow down, many times less than the original speed, and then build up, which is why all practice in any instrument should be, really. So again, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, and keep going. Okay, so once you get acquainted with that pattern and you can do it without stopping at this speed, for example, then you might want to try adding the other bass notes, like the 5th string and the 4th string. Okay, so you might need to practice this for maybe 10 minutes at a time, or whatever it takes you. So if you need to play this video several times and just try to play along or just work on it on your own, this should be your final result. This speed, hitting every note, changing the bass note. Now back to fifth string, and then back to sixth string. All right. Now, once you got that down, then you want to start working on it with the chords that you know. For example, if you know a D chord, and if you don't know it, this is it. It uses 3 fingers, index on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, middle finger, 1st string, 2nd fret, and ring finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret. And your main bass note is going to be the 4th string, because that's the root of the chord. At first, you're going to want your root note to be on the bass. So in this case, it's D for the open D string. And we try it now with the pattern. Thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. And keep going. And by the way, this chord with this right hand pattern would be the first chord for the song Everybody Hurts by REM, if you want to hear how these techniques can work on real context, on real songs. All right, and then you can practice on all the chords you know. For example, the A chord, which is 2nd fret on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. And your bass note is going to be the open A string, the 5th string. All right, and you can also do it in the next chord, for example, a C. And it's going to use the 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, and 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And your main bass is going to be the 5th string for that C note. All right, so practice the finger picking patterns on all the chords that you know. And it's sure a very good way to develop your skill of finger picking, which is one of the most basic tools that any guitar player should have. Okay, dear students, that will be all for today. Even though this is a short video, you can practice this technique for about 20 to 30 minutes. We talked about three different chords: the D, the A, the C chord, but the main takeaway should be the right hand pattern. All right, I hope you enjoyed the lesson and I hope you found it useful. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you at the jam night.